Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is JJ and I've been teaching private guitar lessons for about the past 10 years and I still teach and am planning to continue far into the future. In my career as a teacher, I'd say that about half to two-thirds of my students, which is around a couple hundred, were considered beginners. People who had either never touched a guitar before in their lives or maybe did a little bit of exploring but just didn't get anywhere. So for these students, I have a very simple course of study for beginner guitar, and for many of them, it's been quite successful. In this video, I'm going to give a brief overview of what I tell anyone who walks into their first lesson as a beginner. Now, it may vary slightly depending on a couple of factors like age. I've taught kids under 10, I've taught adults like me, my age. I've also taught folks in their 60s and 70s. Kind of along the same lines, your physical abilities. Everybody's hands are a little bit different. Some people just have a hard time with certain aspects of guitar playing. Not a big deal. I'm here to help with that. And just your personal preferences. So what's going to be your level of interest? Are you looking to get out and perform? Do you want to go to music school, etc.? Or is this just going to be a hobby that you do for fun, while you're sitting at home relaxing after work? So let's take a look. A few of my short-term goals for every beginner student are as follows. 1, be able to play all the notes in open position, which is this area of the guitar using open strings in the first few frets. 2, be able to play all the easy beginner chords, all these campfire chords. Also in the open position using the open strings. And for you build a repertoire of easy songs to play using those chords and possibly some of the notes. An optional bonus goal would be to know a tiny bit of very, very basic music theory, but not everybody goes in that direction. So as far as notes go, like I said, we learn all the notes in this open position right here using the open strings in the first 3 or 4 frets. So all of these, just the natural notes to start off. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and we'll throw in sharps and flats later on. Learn one string at a time. So take like the E string, learn the available notes on that string, move on, etc. We just do some very simple exercises, and then it's just a bit of memorization. Eventually, you get to the point where you know enough notes to play some simple songs like Happy Birthday. Always a crowd pleaser. And then maybe like Ode to Joy. Another good one to know. Plus many more. So as I said, we'll throw in accidentals along the way, and then soon enough you'll have all the notes at your disposal. And yes, I think everybody should know the open position notes. At least, you don't have to go crazy all over the fretboard if you don't want to get that complicated. But even if you think, well, man, I'm just here to strum. I only ever want to play chords. Why should I spend time learning these notes? Well, eventually at some point, you're going to need to play some notes. A number of songs have cool little riffs in combination with chords. So if by some chance you ever want to play these songs, you're going to want to be familiar with playing notes and moving your fingers in a linear way, and not just be fumbling around guessing where things are. Also, you're going to be much better off just knowing the geography of your fretboard. So if I say something like, move your finger to C, you're not like, oh, which one is that? Or, which string am I on, etc. Just take time to learn your notes and you'll be all set. So for chords, as I said, we'll learn all the simple campfire chords. Here in open position, good old G, C, D, E minor, and so on. Everything that we can think of that uses these open strings we'll try to get to. And it all leads up to bar chords, which are kind of like the next step up, but it's talking about like F, B minor, stuff like that. But starting off with just the open position chords, the first step is really just to be able to play them cleanly. So making sure there's no fret buzzing or dead strings, trying to work out all the kinks. So if you hear something like this, you just got to do a little bit of experimenting and clean your chords up like that. When your chords are sounding pretty good, we can move on to strumming in rhythm and transitioning from chord to chord. Soon enough, we'll be able to take on some very simple songs to start off, then branch off in different directions. Some songs I usually like to start off with are Wagon Wheel, and Rocky Raccoon by the Beatles. So both of these songs have a repeating 8-bar chord progression, so they're very easy to learn and good to jam along with when you're ready to play along with a real song. So you can learn chords and notes together. It's not like you have to graduate to get to a new level or anything. I usually split the lesson in half, first part being notes and the second part being chords. I will say, however, that chords require more practice than notes. So if you practice for a half hour, I'd say spend 10 minutes on your notes and about 20 minutes on chords. Learning chords takes patience, some experimentation, and with the finger positioning to get the chords clean, and a little bit of hand strength and endurance. But not much. You don't need to push down super hard or anything. It's more about finding the sweet spot. And also, I've said it before and I'll continue to preach it, rhythm is key. Playing in tempo and learning to keep a steady beat is more important than playing perfect chords. Now obviously, you want your chords to be as good as possible, but if you have decent or mediocre chords and really good rhythm, most people won't notice. They're just going to enjoy the music. But if you have perfect chords and terrible rhythm and can't keep a beat, everybody in the audience will pick up on that and it won't be good. A lot of students ask, do I need to buy any books? And no, you don't need to, but you can if you want to. I have plenty of my own materials that can take you pretty far, but some people just like having a book, for extra security or extra practice, or maybe they already got it in advance. So if they'd like, I am fine working out of a book. I can get my points across, using a book. Most of them are pretty good, and they're all going to get you to the same place. There's only so many ways to go about learning the notes and the chords on the guitar. So really, no matter what method you use, in the end, it's all about the work you put into it. And I used a book when I was just starting off on guitars, when I was like 9 or 10. Pretty sure it was the Hal Leonard, Guitar Method 1 or whatever they call it. And frankly, the stuff that I teach, my materials is kind of what I remember learning at that age. But every now and then I'll get a student who wants to take a more academic approach to learning guitar, and that's great. For example, I've had students who played other instruments or knew some music theory, so they already had some musical experience, they consider themselves musicians. And if that sounds like you, or if that's the road you want to go down, then I can recommend a good book to work out of, and that's William Levitt's Modern Guitar Method. Start off with Volume 1. It's a very good book for intense study, and it'll keep you busy for a while. If you are fine with using my materials, I will just say that the exercises I use to teach notes are written in standard music notation, so you're going to be reading music. Now, some people aren't enthusiastic about that, but I highly recommend you give it a shot. It's really not that hard. If you're really, really not up for it, then sure, there are alternative methods, to learning notes and stuff on guitar, like guitar tablature, or even me just writing out the letters. Some people have just as many problems with guitar tabs, so you kind of just have to pick one and go with it. But yes, I have actually, I will write out the letters for people if they'd like, just on some loose leaf paper. The problem is when there are multiple notes with the same letter, in different octaves, then it gets a little confusing. So we gotta figure out a way to differentiate the two. Maybe I'll write like C2 or F3 or something like that. And you end up deciphering some code that no one else is ever going to use. And frankly, it would have just been easier to learn to read music from the start. So if you take this approach and practice consistently, I guarantee you'll see results. My long-term goals for everyone are: 1, to enjoy playing the guitar. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. It's the most important thing. 2, be able to handle yourself in a musical situation, whether you go out and look for them or you just happen to be in one by chance. And I always say that you have to be able to play by yourself and with other people. Playing by yourself as in, if it's just you and somebody asks you to play something, you can just pick up the guitar and have a go at it. Even if it's just something simple. You can't say, "Oh, sorry, I need my band to back me up," or just wait, let me put on this backing track or something like that. You should really just be able to sit down and play unaccompanied, and you really got to take those opportunities when they come. And on the flip side, you're going to want to get used to playing with other people. If all you ever do is play solo, you're missing out on a lot of musical development, like listening, communicating, general band and performance concepts. If you're not used to having somebody back you up, then things can go wrong. I'm not saying you need to rush out and join a band and go crazy, but things like playing together with your teacher, that's what I'm here for. Or playing along with recordings are good ways to work on this. And my third goal is for you to get to the point where you can learn things on your own and you don't even need me anymore. Yes, as much as I love the business, as much as I love being a teacher, what's more important to me is seeing students evolve into independent, self-sustaining musicians. I mean, I know not everyone gets to that point, but it's still nice to see students take steps in that direction. Show initiative, bring things in that they've been working on to get my opinion, stuff like that. Thanks for checking out this video. I hope it sheds some light on how to get started on the guitar. If you study with me, this is what you'll do. If you study with anyone else, then the roadmap should look something like this. If it doesn't, then you're going to be missing out on a lot of important fundamentals of guitar playing. Anyway, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and check back for more beginner videos down the road. Take care, and I'll see you next time.